to all of you. Um, we're excited to have the opportunity to host you here this fall. And I think today's point is we'll take about 30 minutes. I have some fantastic people from campus from different offices, and we'll introduce ourselves in a second. But we'll kind of just go over step-by-step guide what to expect next, either if you're enrolled or if you're still deciding in the next month or so, going ahead and before fall starts. And then in the end, we'll open it up for Q&A if you have any questions. So we have about 45 minutes, but and we have some time here, but let's get started. So first of all, the next step. So you've been admitted, you most likely have gotten the equivalency worksheet from Kathy Ritchie or our registrar's office. If you have any questions about that, usually when you got that first initial version of it, there's some of the credits and the amount of credits are confusing to some of the students. So TP is in the grade section, you can see TP, and that's in progress grades. So once you send your final transcripts to us, those credits should count as well, as long as you have a C or better grade in those classes. But the class standing that you've been given in the invite letter should be awarded. So you should already kind of know that. Also, the next step. So if you have not enrolled, you've been to your student portal, you should have a section there to press and commit. Press I want to enroll, and then it'll take you to the page to pay the enrollment deposit. After that, it'll launch or notify all of our campus offices, such as Haley, Matt, and Kevin, who are here with me today. And after that, they will then start contacting you and asking for different documents on what might be needed. Well, first of all, I forgot about the introductions. So Haley, do you want to introduce yourself first, real quick?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Haley Del Greco. I'm one of the advisors in our Student Success Center here at PC. I do work specifically with transfer students in addition to my own advisees. So if there's anything you ever need, academic side of things, please let me know. I'm always happy to help.
And Matthew next.
Hi, all. My name is Matt Hicks. I serve as our Assistant Dean for Student Engagement and Leadership. As part of that role, I direct our orientation program. So we do offer the same orientation experience for our transfer students, just as well as our freshman students coming in. We do customize that experience a little bit to make sure that it is a new to PC, not new to college orientation experience, but I won't jump ahead here. So excited to have you all here tonight.
And then Kevin.
Hello, I'm Kevin Hillary. I do all the housing here on campus with Residence Life, working with Beth Scully, the Dean of Residence Life. They had me turned off because they say I look like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons because I graduated so long ago, back in the 80s. But I was a transfer back in the 80s. I came from Iona College, and it was the best move of my life coming to Providence College. And I hope to help you with that transition as well. We're wrapping up this year and looking forward to my segment to talk to you on how I could support you.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. And as far as the most of you have until the end of the month for the deposit, I know some of you might have not received your financial aid letter yet, which is obviously an important part of the process. We understand that. So please know that, first of all, make sure you check the portal and that there should be a financial aid section that shows if we're still missing some forms. I saw a few students that reached out to me today are still missing some of the tax documents from 2022, so financial aid can complete the read. So just first of all, make sure you've done that and sent it to the financial aid office. If you've done everything, you should expect to hear back by the end of this week, by early next week latest. So then you'll have until the end of next Friday to decide. You can always reach out to me if there's any reasons that you have any issues with the financial aid forms. let me know. You can reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to connect you with the right financial aid counselor. But like I said earlier, after you get that process, you commit in the portal, and the ball starts rolling from there. And usually the first person I think that will contact you will be actually Haley. So maybe we'll start with you, Haley. Just explain kind of what your role is, what your office does, and kind of how does that process look like for transfer students.
Yeah, thank you. So most transfer students do receive notice from me first. Just be aware that while you receive notice from me about what I'm doing on your side of transfer things, it does not necessarily mean that what I'm telling you you'll be able to do, you'll have access to yet. Sometimes I say, hey, I'm creating your fall schedule, time to go and look at it. However, you've not received your login credentials yet from the registrar's office. That is a-okay. Just be a little patient with everything. As soon as I receive the deposit, I start cranking through what I need to do with y'all. So let's start there. What happens when I receive notice that you have deposited at PC for the fall? I do a couple of things. The first that I do is look at your transfer equivalency sheet. So what Yuho was just talking about, how your classes from your previous institution are transferring over to PC. That's a major component of what I'm looking at when I look at creating your schedule for the fall semester. And I do want to make that very clear. I am the person who makes your schedule for the fall semester. Does not mean it can't change, but I do need to get a preliminary schedule set up for you. So then we can get the ball rolling on a couple of other things that need to be done at PC. So keep that in mind. If you look at your schedule and you're like, what did Haley do? It's all right, we can change it. So from your transfer equivalency sheet, what I do is I then review your degree audit here at PC. So every one of you has a degree audit. You will have access to it once you have access to your PC credentials. But your degree audit is what lists every requirement that you need to complete here at PC. So you're going to have your major requirements. You're going to have your core requirements. And then if you have a minor, you'll have your minor requirements. And then you'll have your overall degree progress requirements, right? So you need 120 credits to graduate here at PC. Some of you might be coming in with 30 credits. Some of you might be coming in with 49. So those credits are counting towards that overall 120 credits to graduate. However, how that's applying to your degree is going to look different for every one of you. Some of you may have more major requirements completed. Some of you may have more core requirements completed. So using those two documents, your degree audit and your transfer equivalency sheet, I then look at what classes make the most sense for you based on the four-year plan that your academic department has already created, which you can also view if you go online to Academic Advising's homepage and then click on our four-year plan tab. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can view all of the four-year plans for every single major here on campus. So if you're wondering what your major plan looks like, maybe you're a marketing major, maybe you're an English major, you can view that and you can kind of see, oh yeah, I took a class that seems very similar to this. Let me look at my transfer equivalency and see if any of my major courses have been completed already. So I use that to then make your schedule. One thing that everyone is going to be in for next semester is DWC 101. That is standard across the board. We do not change that because it is a sequenced class. We need you to start the sequence sooner rather than later. So for anyone coming in with a standing of second semester freshman, you will have 3 civ classes that you need to complete instead of 4. Anyone coming in with the standing of first semester sophomore or higher, you only have 2 civ classes that you need to complete. Civ 101 is only taught in the fall, which is why we put you in it, and we don't like to change that. Civ 102, the second course in the sequence, is only offered in the spring. So if you don't take Civ 101 in the fall, you have to wait until next year. If you don't take Civ 102 in the spring, you have to wait until the next year to take it. And they're all prerequisites for each other. So like I said, we really want to keep you in that. We don't want to change it. So that is 100% something you will see in your schedule. From there, it, like I said, will vary. Here at PC, we like our students to be in 5 classes. That could look different from what your previous institution was. If your classes at your previous institution had higher credit counts, then you might have taken less classes. Here at PC, most of our classes are 3 credits. You should be averaging about 15 credits each semester in order to stay on track to graduate, which is about 5. That will fluctuate depending on your major. If you're a bio major and you have lab classes, you're going to be taking more 4-credit classes. So you might see a higher number at that point. That's okay. That's normal. So from there, I create your schedule. I'll then send out an email to you saying, hey, I'm Haley, and I'll introduce myself virtually. And I will share how you can view your schedule using your PC login credentials. So once again, you can view it, you can take a look at everything. We can always change it if you want to. Please note that I also send this information to your academic department. So I email your academic department and I say, hey, you have an incoming transfer student. Please feel free to take a look at all of the stuff that I've done, their transfer equivalency, a degree audit, fall schedule. If you'd like me to change anything, please let me know. So we might also hear from them in that regard as well. I always say, if you have questions, I'm happy to be that point of contact for you. However, some questions might be more related to your academic department. So if you ever reach out to me and I say, hey, I think this is a great question for your department chair, don't be offended. It just means that I probably don't have the best answer for your specific question, and I want to make sure you're getting the most accurate information. So then from there, I will see you at orientation. I'm always here for questions, but like I said, that's kind of how I operate through all of this. And then I do academic sessions during orientation. So I guess we can move to Matt.
Yeah. And one thing thank you, Ellie. One thing I do want to say before is that the Q&A function. I should have said that in the beginning. So please write any questions you may have. In the end, we'll get to those. But yeah, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
All right. Thanks, y'all. So nice handoff here. Really, after you kind of touch base with Haley, your next step after enrolling at PC is to sign up for and then attend our summer orientation. So we have a 2-part orientation program here at Providence College. The first part is that you come for 1 day in June. We call that our first day in Friartown. That is for transfer students. That's about an 8:30 to 1 o'clock day. Or we offer a virtual component to that day. We offer one session at the end of June. This year it'll be June 25th. And that day is only for transfer students. So it's a day that we specifically design a schedule, like I alluded to before. We know it's not your first time in college, right? But it is your first time at PC. And so we make sure to tailor that day to help you understand PC resources as opposed to general college resources, right? So I'll be honest, we probably still will make you do an icebreaker or two, but it's not as much of that sort of stuff, right? We really want to give you an opportunity to connect with one another, but really connect to the academic side and feel more comfortable with your class schedule. As Haley alluded to, you do have your schedule built ahead of time, but it's not final until you come to orientation. And on that orientation day, that's your best opportunity to look at that schedule. You'll meet with an advisor and have the opportunity to say, this doesn't really work for me, or I'm confused why I'm taking this class. Could you help explain that to me? That's really your opportunity to do that. And so, like I mentioned, that'll be June 25th. And don't worry, you don't have to, I'm going to tell you how to do all this in a second. Don't worry, you don't have to write that down. Or you can attend our virtual session if you're traveling from a distance or otherwise unable to come on the 25th. Our virtual day is that next day on the 26th of June. And then the second part of orientation happens in the fall. So you'll move in on, let's see if I can get the date right off the top of my head. I believe it's Thursday, August 28th. It's probably burned into Kevin's head, so he'll correct me if I'm wrong. That'll be move-in day this year. It's a Thursday. And orientation goes through Labor Day weekend. So it's a 4-day orientation program. And we do have our transfer students fully participate in the program. But you are grouped with other transfer students. So it's really, you get the academic acclimation in June, and then you get that social acclimation in August. So we really do believe in making sure that you are fully a part of the orientation process, but it can be customized to what your needs are. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat here. It's a really helpful resource. And do I have screen share ability? It looks like I do. So I'm just going to screen share real quick as well. Just a really fantastic resource for you to go off of here is, are you seeing the new student checklist here? See my screen scrolling? Yeah. Okay, cool. Just making sure. So this is our new student checklist. This is the link I just sent you. This is your go-to. Okay. Anything that you need to do between now and the first day of classes, once you decide to deposit, it's listed on here. And with each one of these items, you can click down and it gives you instructions on how to do it. You do have to register for your first day in Friartown in June. And the way you're going to do that is through your application status portal. Within 48 hours of paying that enrollment deposit, you'll see a button pop up on that same admitted students portal you've been working with this whole time. And you can go in and then register for your first day in Friartown. Please do that as soon as possible. You will see there's this deadline here of May 24th. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. For our transfer students, we don't hold you to this deadline, okay? Because we know you may be paying your enrollment deposit and deciding to come to PC after the 24th. So it's a fake deadline as far as you're concerned, okay? But we still want you to register as soon as possible. And then your next step is to access your PC email. Once you do that, you're really going to be on the right track. And I want you to skip past a few of these items here. Don't worry about the placement tests, Haley, unless I'm wrong, you can correct me. But then really focusing on 6 through 15 there. And these tasks start being available now. And you don't have to finish some of them until August. So I know it looks a little overwhelming, but it really is a complete picture of everything that you need kind of put into one space here. And you can kind of check things off as you go along. So this is really your guide from the time that you deposit to the time that you start classes. And you'll see that on some of these, there's transfer specific information, right? So Kevin will discuss this, but for instance, if you were to click on housing and roommate profile, you can see here that I'm highlighting transfer students have their own process. So for the most part, you are following the same processes as every other new student, but sometimes there are specific things for transfer students and they will be listed. The last thing that I'll mention here in my portion is just letting you know that the orientation office is meant to be a resource for you. So whether you have questions specific to orientation or anything else, if you don't know who to go to with a question, we are more than happy to either give you that answer or find that answer for you. And our contact information is going to be on the website link that I just shared. And of course, use the Q&A function. I'm happy to answer any questions you have at this point. So I think I hit the orientation point. So I'll pass it on over to Kevin, if that's all right.
Sure. Thank you, Matt. Thanks very much. And my portion of it is very interactive. There are some forms to fill out. The process starts up around this upcoming week. So hopefully you haven't been too anxious with regard to hearing from me. We have our housing selection that ended, and then we had commencement, summer housing. We have what is called Maymester. So all that is wrapped up this week. And then some of you have heard from me already. I sent some emails out, but I end up sending a form out to you because each transfer is unique story of their own. And I like to talk to each one of you when you come here to hear your story, to make sure that you're going into the type of housing that you're looking for, to maybe squash a bit of the anxiety with regard to coming in as a transfer. Most of you are all sophomores coming in. You actually have a choice on who you want to live with as a sophomore. You could decide to live with the freshman class if you want, if you're coming in with like a first part you want to experience with the freshman class and join formations there. That doesn't happen often, but like I said, somebody might have a friend coming in from their town, and we just look to make it so you're comfortable where you're living. So the majority of the transfers coming in are sophomores. We have about 4 or 5 juniors that are coming in, and there's all types of housing on campus, everything from apartment, suite semi-suite style, and traditional hall. I'll go over that with you when I send you a form, and then I give you a call starting next week, and we come up with a housing plan. I give as much power to you as the individual on who you want to live with. I don't like to place you. I try to be like the dad, not to interfere too much, and try to guide you as best I can, but I'm there to listen to you and then answer any of your questions. And then I want you to pick where you want to go. And once you get settled with that, where you want to live, and you definitely have to meet the students that you want to live with, and you may want to live with other transfers. And once you feel comfortable with that, you know your housing. I notice on the list quite a few of you are local, within 3 hours of the campus. You could contact me and come take a look at your room. You can pick up your ID card if you happen to get that done with card services. Anything to reduce kind of the anxiety of, all right, I'm coming in as a transfer. What does this building really look like? What is this? Where's my space and so forth like that. I work with each student individually, and hopefully that process goes as smooth as possible. And all the other parts of your education comes flowing naturally after you're comfortable where you're putting your head to sleep. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm sure very helpful for all the students here. We're gonna wrap up here the recording portion, but we'll stay here for the Q&A as well. If you have any questions, please write them down. Also, you can reach out to all of us afterwards, and we're happy to help. But before we kind of conclude, just one tip from each, some helpful tip, how to kind of get the most out of the experience as a transfer student here. You want to go first in order, maybe Haley?
All right, my tip is to use your resources, but I'm specifically going to tailor it to the Student Success Center. The Student Success Center where I am located has tutoring, writing, accommodations, anything that you could possibly need academic-wise. Your transition academically is going to be something new, right? Don't be afraid to use these resources. We are here. We are ready to help. We have academic coaching. I forgot to mention them. So everyone in my office is ready and willing to help you. Don't hesitate to reach out. And like Matt kind of said, I'm okay to be that touch point, that first point of contact. If you're like, hey, I think I need help with this. I want to get into tutoring, but I don't know how. Let me know. I'm more than happy to help. All right. So don't be afraid to use those resources. Just like Kevin, I want to make sure your transition is going smoothly all around.
Oh, want to jump in, Matt?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, God, one piece of advice that's so tough. I love PC. I think it's a really fantastic place. If you choose to join us, I think you're going to make a great decision. I really, there's not one type of PC student, and I think that's what makes it really special, but it's a really tight-knit community at the same time. I would say, one thing that I tell all incoming students is don't feel like you have to, have it down within the first week or 2 weeks. I know, especially for a transfer student, maybe you love the institution that you're coming from. Maybe you didn't love the institution you're coming from. There could be a lot of pressure to, make sure PC is the right place, right? After that, after transferring, but, really, really give yourself, that first semester to try different clubs, to, meet different people, put yourself out there. There's really a lot of different student orgs and student groups here on campus. And, just give yourself time to explore that a little bit. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Settle into classes. And I really think that after the first semester, regardless of what you're coming in interested in or what you're coming in looking for, I feel pretty confident you're going to find it at PC.
Yeah, kind of just to piggyback what Matt was saying, I emphasize patience, and most importantly, patience with yourself. Just to have that bit of balance, you have to get focused on your studies, but also you want some downtime. The gym is a great place to go. A lot of the kids work out there. I'm trying to get my cholesterol level down, so I might see you there as well. But as far as you want some balance, and then if you feel a bit anxious, we have a lot of resources on campus. My door is always open to you. I love to chat with students when they come in, see how they're doing. And sometimes it's just good to step away from the dorm and chat to somebody, get a little bit of encouragement. And the semester goes by incredibly fast. Before you know it, you're going to feel like a veteran. So just hang in there and be patient with yourself.
Thank you, Kevin. And I put my email in the chat. Just feel, most of you probably have my contact details. I'm happy to be a liaison for all the offices if needed. And okay, Haley, and you can put your info there too for the students if they want to contact directly. But again, just thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, reach out anytime. Also, last thing I wanted to say is, I, for example, had one transfer student come in today, even though we don't have students on campus, and we were able to keep a kind of a informal tour of the campus. So if you are looking to come in before, that end of Friday next week, just email me and we can try to work something, like a little tour on campus. So, but again, thank you so much. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you here in the fall.